Hello, my name is Alexis Balke, and today I'm going to talk to you about the business process of receiving, triaging, and managing technical assistance requests. I will also discuss my redesign strategy to increase the efficiency of this process. I will provide you with a brief overview of the current process of triaging and managing a technical assistance request. I will include the current flowchart, the technology used, and conclude with my suggestions of an improved process, and with that, a new flowchart illustrating what that new process will look like. First, let's look at the current process. For the purposes of this presentation, we will call Technical Assistance Requests TA. Currently, the process begins with receiving a TA request. Then we determine what level the TA request is by the staff time allocated to fulfill the need. This will include the time it takes to log the request into the web-based information system. We call this TA tracker, and manage that record from the moment it arrives until the request is complete. At the conclusion of each request, the staff who responded to the request is responsible to complete the final TA report, which is then manually uploaded into TA Tracker. Here you're going to find a pretty comprehensive flowchart. This is describing what happens after a TA request is received. This brings us through how it's determined what level request, Level 1 being 2 to 4 hours of staff time, going all the way up to Level 4, which is an ongoing TA effort. Then we discuss how the TA is assigned to certain staff levels, triaged, if we do take it to the larger meeting with supervisory staff, who is the lead, whether or not we respond, and with what materials we respond. This is a business process design that is more about how the human touch works as far as what the response is going to look like. As far as technology, that is not necessarily part of this piece of the business design. We're going to go ahead and go over that next. Currently, TA requests can come in through a multitude of ways. They can be submitted through a website, they can be emailed directly to a staff member, they can be called in using our toll-free number. Social media, once in a while we do get TA requests over Facebook, on our listserv, exhibiting, and so on. There's multiple different ways that TA requests can come in, leading to a sense of confusion or a lack of efficiency as far as how we handle these requests, how they come in, and honestly, some of these requests are falling through the cracks. At the next level, then, we decide on TA triage. At that point, we decide again what level, and then we do a comprehensive review of past and current TA to look at what has already been done in that area and what is currently being worked on. At that point, we determine whether or not this TA request needs to go into a larger group in which supervision staff needs to get involved. And then again, we determine who to assign the TA to. This is all done manually through many meetings throughout the day. The next step is when the technology gets involved. Once a TA is requested, then it is responsible for the staff to go into the TA tracker system and input the information required, which is the requester's name, the TA description, and of course who the assigned TA staff is. Now this is the bare minimum to get the TA opened into TA tracker. However, there's numerous other fields, close to 100, that ask or request more information about the TA, such as their jurisdiction, their county, the type of population, whether it's court, maybe social worker, or the social science field, education, and so on. We then have a tab in which we go in and then we monitor or manage every activity that is done for that TA. What emails are sent, what calls occurred, and that's our way of managing each activity so that later we can go back and see what exactly was done to fulfill that request. The TA staff that was assigned to the request is responsible to update every activity within that TA record. They then do a summary of what the response was. They mark any key words that reflect the request and response. On a keyword tab, there's a list of close to 500 different keywords that you can select. Some TA requests need multiple keywords to select and some just one. At that point, the staff assigned is responsible to send out a TA evaluation. This is a mandatory responsibility at the closure of every TA. And lastly, at the closure of a TA, The staff member must write an after-action report or an AAR. We usually just do these for the higher level TAs, but it is necessary that some type of summary of what was done is included in the TA report. This is done manually, usually using a Word file, and then uploaded into the TA record that it is inside the TA tracker, which is a web-based management system. So how does this all get done? We do utilize a web-based management system or information system named TA Tracker. It's part of a larger system called Communication Central, which is another web-based management system. It has a whole bunch of tools, including GoToMeeting capability, forums, chats, etc. Now, we get this all done honestly through manual labor. Everything that gets inputted in Tracker is done because someone is actually inputting that information into the database. At this point, there is no capability for automatic logging or management of any TA record. Currently, TA Tracker has multiple roles. We use it as a case management tool as described before. We can also pull out content analysis by pulling the keywords that were selected when we manage the TA. We can also use it for reporting by being able to pull the number of TAs that were administered as well as maybe where they were located, the TA requesters, any common themes that we might be seeing across the country, a increase or a decrease in TA requests over time. And then lastly, we can also use it as a TA evaluation tool. At the end of every TA, an evaluation is sent to the requester in which TA Tracker does monitor the response of that TA evaluation and then sends us a report stating how satisfied our customers are with the TA delivery. So far in this presentation, I've brought you through how to log and manage a TA request, and I'm hopeful that you see that there's a lot of human touch involved. Human touch results in human error. There are very little things that are actually automatically inputted into the database, and instead everything must be manually put in there. As a result, the quality assurance is quite extensive. We have monthly, quarterly, and annually cleanup processes. We discover challenges in logging and managing TAs on almost a daily basis. We have a staff member that her entire job, 40 hours a week, is spent on looking at the TA records, performing quality assurance, and making sure that everyone is logging and managing the TA records correctly. Oftentimes, someone will log the TA request incorrectly, missing some mandatory fields, forgetting to put in keywords, forgetting to upload their TA report or after-action report, forgetting to send out a TA evaluation, closing the record, and so on and so forth. There's countless errors that can occur when you open or manage a TA record. With this, there is a lack of efficiency. There's a lot of staff time used to go back into TA records and perform cleanup. There's a lot of duplication that's involved. For example, if I receive a TA request via email, but then later that day, one of my fellow staff members receives it over a phone call by the same requester. We may both go in there and log the TA request into the system. And now we have the same requester and the same TA request logged twice. One of us must go back in and delete that entire record, thus wasting again staff time. I've decided that there must be an easier way. We'll go through that now. Here you will find my suggestions for enhancements of TA Tracker. I believe that a new user interface can be created. This will enhance the create a new TA record function and can streamline documentation by including a duplicate requester field. For example, many requests I get come from the same requester. I may receive 15 to 20 requests in 1 year from the same person. Every time I go into the system, I must re-enter all of their information, including their address, email, address, phone number, and so on. Creating a tab for duplicate requester would save a lot of time, as you can just select that tab, enter in the first name of the requester, which then it would form fill down, similar to any other automatic form fill that you would see on an online database. Also creating multiple functions to share information on upcoming events across programs and program staff. For example, events are entered into TA Tracker on an everyday basis. However, there's no way of getting that information out to staff unless the staff ran an event report on a daily basis. I believe that if TA Tracker could automatically feed events into our staff's Outlook or email server, which we use as Outlook, it would be a much easier process to be able to look at the upcoming events, and then to better calendar them or staff them ongoing. I also believe that we can enhance the TA Quality Assurance Report, where it could show us what fields are missing. Instead of going through and manually looking through each TA report and documenting what fields are missing, a TA Quality Assurance Report would be able to pull all missing fields by a query, put that into an Excel format, and then can be used to identify quickly where the errors are, if there's duplicate logging, or if there's missing fields. I also believe that the TA evaluation should be done as an automatic email sent out to the requester upon the closure of a TA. At this point, the staff is responsible to send out an evaluation manually to every requester via email. Because the email addresses of each requester are already inputted into the tracker system, the tracker system should automatically be able to send an evaluation to the requester without having this done manually through the staff member. It seems like a little task now, but over time, this adds up. I also think that TA record management could really benefit through more of an automatic logging process. For example, instead of having multiple ways of TA requests coming in, if we had one field or one form online in which all requesters complete and hit submit, that form automatically gets uploaded into TA Tracker. That would already include the requester's name, information, location, and a summary of what they would like or what the requester needs. At that point, it would then send over to the TA manager that a new request has been entered, in which they can go into TA Tracker and see the requests themselves. This would save a lot of time in the initial login process. I also believe that developing systems that can talk to each other would be really efficient in this. For example, if our Outlook talked to our TA Tracker management system, we would be able to send emails to our requester, and then those emails would automatically be uploaded into the TA Tracker record as an activity. This would eliminate a lot of duplication. Right now I have to send an email to a requester and then copy and paste that email into the activity of the database. Therefore, I am actually documenting that email in two different locations. I also believe that TA Tracker would benefit from a document sharing protocol, where I can go on and open up a document and do some work on the document, and then someone else, another colleague, can go on at another time and actually do work on that exact same document. I think this would save a lot of time, as well as eliminate the problem of version control. However, I do feel that if we did input that, or if we did execute that enhancement, there would be some issues as far as control of user. I would want to make sure that whoever is going into that document maybe would need a password or some other way of monitoring who goes in and who's making the last edits. These are some of the potential enhancements, and next I will show you how that would change the flowchart. Here you will see my flowchart of my improved process. As you can see, the source of TA requests has dramatically decreased. We will no longer be receiving TA requests through a multitude of ways, and instead there will only be one way in which a TA request can be submitted. This will be through a website TA request form. This will be automatically inputted into the TA Tracker tool web-based management system. All necessary fields to open up a record will be automatically filled in by the requester themselves through the TA request form. At that point, an instant acknowledgement will be sent to the requester indicating that the TA request has been received and that a staff member will be in touch with them shortly. The TA triage may need some human touch to determine what level the TA is and assign staff. However, an automatic summary of past and current TA can be done by using the location that is inputted by the TA requester themselves. Once that request is inputted into Tracker, Tracker can automatically submit or pull a record of all the past and current TA and send that to the TA manager. This will help in determining staff, assigning staff to the TA record based on the location. Then we'll also need to do some human touch in determining if a manager needs to be involved in this TA request. The third step in this process would be entirely eliminated. The TA request will already be in TA Tracker, and we will no longer need to have guidelines on minimum level of information required because it will already be automatically inputted through the website TA request form. Lastly, a TA response and completion will still need to be done by the TA staff. A TA staff will still will still develop the response and respond to the requester. However, that email will be automatically uploaded into the Activities tab of the record. Outlook and the tracking system will be able to speak to each other. The tracker system will recognize the email address used and automatically upload that email into the Activities tab of the same requester email. Upon closing each record, an evaluation will automatically be sent. This process was discussed earlier, and I think it would save a lot of time. In summary, I believe that enhancing the TA tracking system will decrease the amount of time needed to log and manage TA requests. This will decrease the amount of money spent on staff allocation of time, which will in turn increase the amount of money that goes into the company's piggy bank.